Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are just about finished with our lead mines, which puts us in a pretty good position to fight our war against Russia. If Macron joins, we could have... Ooh, open hearth process. Ooh, and a new mandate. Excellent. Let's swap over to open hearth process first. Oh, right, we can do photography in our arts academies. That's fun. Got an event. Open hearth process. So if Persia gets involved, that could end up being a front over there. Anti-imperial advocacy. An unexpected popular campaign by Mahjan Shah against the Qing government's colonial policies has led to greatly increased public interest in the Agrarian Party's platform. Out of all of the displays, it was by far the depictions of distant atrocities that drew the most spectators. Grown men stood wide-eyed as their gaze traced the origins of rivers of red, and children hid behind their mothers to evade the accusing eyes of the bayoneted men. It was not any complex slogan that won the day or clever turn of rhetoric. It was this, the only phrase that one needed upon seeing such things. How can we stop it? Channel this energy to support anti-imperial politics, extra socialist, anarchist, communist, and peasant movement attraction, extra momentum for the Agrarian Party, or only the Agrarian Party stands against senseless war. 20% momentum. I'm going to do the first one. Because I genuinely, I think having stronger anti-imperialist movements could potentially provide a lot of benefit for us in the future. I think maybe I'll finish this proletarian revolt first and then deal with it. I say as I quash a proletarian revolt in one of my subjects. Like a huge hero. Took a little hit in economic productivity, unfortunately. I'm not sure what that's about, but we'll find out. And now we're just building power block statues. Gosh, these do take forever. Investment pool is increasing in size significantly, so maybe I will increase the size of the construction sector. Let's do 20 levels. No, that's too much. I'll do 10. 2, 4, 5. Nothing too extreme. Again, I don't want to completely outrun my finances. Alright, so. Let's do this event first. Confusion and delay. Debate. Supporters of compulsory primary school in the rural folk, headed by Takeaki Terauchi, have questioned the government publicly on the amount of time that is required in order for the law to pass. The government is, at this time, carrying out an atrocity through cold bureaucracy. It favors procedure over lives, paperwork over hunger. How many people need to suffer for the sake of the feelings of some government functionaries who have never felt a spark of hunger in their lives? Documents can wait, ladies and gentlemen, but the people suffering cannot. The bill will be passed when the process is complete. Extra authority, stronger and more active modernization movement. That's good. Or the documents can wait, the people cannot. Reduce enactment time. Cost bureaucracy, slightly increased modernization movement activism. I'm going to go with the first one, actually. A stronger modernization movement is good for the country. So, Russia is going after Turkmenia. If I join this, I can't... I can join on this side. I join this. No, because I want to do a bunch of war goals against Russia. Because I think the amount you get is per war goal when you're going after a country. On the other hand, this is a chance to fight basically just Russia. But there are a lot of people leading Russia's way. Greece and Austria, too. Yeah, because this is technically an offensive war. Nah, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna do my own thing. Alright, there's the situation Macron popping off. And my construction sectors are nearly built, which hopefully will keep the investment pool growing. And there's corporatism. Excellent. So, does that change where we are with this? Doesn't look like it. Alright. And all the attitudes of these various countries are getting more loyal. Relations with Dainam are still bad, but Champasak is going down in Liberty Desire, and at a good clip as well. So that's very good. This process is very much paid off. This is Siam, we're moving up in opinion with them. The minor interests. Debate. Regardless of the government's caucus's stance, the fiercest debates on compulsory primaries will come from these two. The petite bourgeoisie and populace stirred by Takeaki Terauchi's movement. I don't know why I have such a hard time saying Takeaki, but I do. The end is nowhere in sight. Once in a blue moon, the government sees a minor issue to appease an ally or placate an enemy. Invariably, it uncrosses someone else's line. Some might call enemy of my enemy and expect an alliance of convenience. Others often rightly expect a velveteen fist. Let them bicker. 33% chance each of one of them gets angrier, one of them gets strong, and the other gets stronger, and 33% chance of lower sternum pops become more radical. Take advantage of the populist pressure. Extra movement activism for Terauchi, which is good, but weaker and angrier petite bourgeoisie. Or back the petite bourgeoisie. Reduce movement activism for Terauchi, reduce popularity, but the petite bourgeoisie becomes stronger and happier. Oh. I'm gonna let them bicker. Alright. That's fine. It is what it is, what it is. Corporatist movement. Ooh. Interesting. Very interesting. They don't care about the current battle, but that is what it is. Alright, so I think it's time to kick off some action against Russia. So, if I go for a conquer against Okhotsk, yeah, it's going to bring in all their allies. But I think it's going to be worth it. I think it's going to be worth it. Let's be careful. What's the primary play? If I liberate a country... Oh, interesting. I could liberate the Soviet Far East. But again, this doesn't liberate Siberia. Well, that would be bananas. I've got a bunch of countries that I could liberate. I could liberate Kazakhstan. But no, I think going for the states is the right call. A little bit of infamy, and that's okay. So, let's add our other demands. So I've already added Okhotsk. Chukotka is over here, which I will add. And Kamchatka is over here. Chukotka. And Kamchatka. Other war goals. I can ban slavery in Persia. I think that's reasonable. Reasonable and achievable. But that's not against Russia. Transferring Alaska would be fun, but again, I don't think that's good. I could do war reparations, Russian war reparations, so that's another useful war goal. If I liberate Buryatia, that could be interesting. Tuva is part of me, so I can't just liberate Tenutuva for the memes. These are a lot of maneuvers. Ooh. Revoking claims, though. Oh, man. I got so many of these. Yeah. Revoke claim on North Heilongjiang. Revoke claim on North Jilin. Yeah, absolutely. I got so many war goals. Alright. There are not countries I can sway functionally at this moment. I don't think they're going to back down. I don't want to add anything to my primaries. Ooh, I can add the... Well, this is going to cost me maneuvers, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, we'll add the war reparations and the revoke claim CBs to my primary for now. And then I won't be over 25 infamy. And that will be just fine. Get everyone together. And we will... do I have a mobilize all conscripts button? I do not. I've only got army by army conscripts. We will raise our conscripts. This is potentially going to be a large war, and it's an important one. We will send our field armies to the main front. And a few to the secondary fronts as well. And then the plain blue banner army needs to go to the main front as well. We'll pause government construction. We'll leave construction to the private sector for now. And I think I'm going to throw some conscripts in the 4th Field Army. Just another block of trench infantry and shrapnel artillery. And maybe we'll do a small block of conscripts for the 1st Field Army as well. Just 30 infantry and 20 artillery. Alright. Let's make it happen. Because I'm mobilizing a lot of forces because we're going to have a lot of enemies here. Oh, man. Bad time to have a rebellion in Luang Prabang. Alright, we'll see if Russia mobilizes their conscripts. I am very sharp. I am very deeply in the red right now. I could increase taxation. Austria sides with Russia. Alright, we knew that was going to happen. Greece sides with Russia. In fact, I think I will increase taxation. It's going to give me a lot more breathing room than I had before. We got a lot of armies over there. Let's move the Bohai Gulf Fleet over to that sea node. And the 3rd Qing Fleet we'll put over here. Greece is damaging relations. Language in the classroom. Uyghur students sometimes use their native language in Qing schools. Some have called for teachers to penalize the use of these languages, forcing children to speak the official language of Great Qing. You noticed it too, right? He gets angry when anyone talks in class, but he always gets angrier when we're talking. Maybe he thinks we're talking about him. I think he just doesn't like being reminded that we know something he doesn't. Schools should teach them to speak the proper language. 10% of Uyghur pops become more radical, 20% assimilation, extra radicalism from discrimination, or their language is part of their heritage. Bunch of interest groups angry. Reduce radicalism from discrimination, reduce assimilation. I'm going to do the first one. Can't afford to piss off all my interest groups, even though they're stupid ethno-nationalists. This situation in Tripolitania I couldn't possibly be involved in. An exile at the gates, the relatively lean Qing immigration system has long been attractive to those fleeing their home nations. Recently, Jamfal Wengyal has petitioned to join the stream of people moving to Great Qing. So he is a royalist aligned with the rural folk. It was one name on a very, very long list, one that had passed through multiple layers of bureaucracy without being noticed. One fateful day, however, one clerk at the end of his shift pointed to the name and spoke those fatal words. I could swear I've heard of him before. One day he too will be Qing, or we will not have someone like this regardless of precedent. I'm going to say we will not have someone like this regardless of precedent. Can I put this guy in charge yet? I cannot. I'm going to put one additional postal force over here. Hey, law progressed to voting. Excellent. We do have a lot more enemy battalions coming in here. I need to push forward and push forward hard. Buy or else. A group representing those within the scholar officials that interest in the steel trade have begun lobbying the government for action against Russia, citing its hostile trade practices. They had been in and out of the foreign minister's office all morning, men of wealth and status, all known to the ministry, all reciting the same complaints. The Russian trade war, impediment of free movement of goods, the seizure of unrealized gains. Just as he stood to flick the lock closed for the day, another knock rang out. The energy flowed out of him all at once, nearly driving him to fall on the carpet. With a grimace, he forced himself to take another step and fling open the door. Yes, sir, if you would have a seat. It's only understandable. They join. A new anti-Russia lobby is created, or we will not shift our stance on command. Scholar officials become weaker and angrier. I'm going to do the first one. The reason being that I'm going up against Russia right now, so it just makes good sense that there will be an anti-Russia lobby. This force comparison is not as rock solid as I was hoping it might be. Let's grab the 5th Field Army does have a pile of conscripts. 4th Field Army does as well. 2nd Field Army does not. Let's throw some conscripts in the 2nd Field Army. $40 units of infantry and 30 of artillery. We're probably going to do some naval invasions during this war, but I'm not sure yet. We'll set up a modest conscription plan for 3rd Field Army as well. We'll just do 30 battalions of infantry, 20 battalions of artillery. I think if we do a naval invasion, it'll be against Austria. Not with a large force. Couldn't possibly get involved in that. There's our little rebellion over here, which should sort itself out in good time. Britain's going after... Oh, Britain's got a rebellion in Carnatic to deal with. Alright, and there's that dealt with. I'm actually going to move this coastal force this way, because there will be a time when we send them to do a naval invasion. I'll do the same with this. Oh, beautiful! We passed compulsory primary school. That's wonderful. So, we got a lot of things to do right now. And I never spent my mandate from last episode, which I was thinking about. Let's get better transport infrastructure. This is extra land trade capacity, and it unlocks the better trains method, which I will implement immediately in my railroads. Now, We'll start our naval invasion. We'll invade Greece to start. Not going to go after Austria right away. Because we got battles popping off all across the front here. Let's see how we're doing. We are winning over here. We're winning over here. And we're winning over here. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty strong and cool. Let's send one of our fleets to lock down the Mediterranean. Because we know that Austria's got a trade through there. And we can send our other fleet to lock down the North Sea. Oop. Not a naval invasion. Okay, our convoys are being sunk in the Laccadiva Sea. So where is that? Strategic region. Is this? Yeah. Hello, sir. This fleet could use a new admiral. It's all scholar officials, dorks. That's okay, though. Alright, so we're making progress in Persia. That's good. We're making progress in Russia. That's also good. Alright. They've fled like cowards away from our gigantic fleet. The Western Guangdong Missionary School. Protestant missionaries have opened several charity schools in Western Guangdong, offering education in Western religious and scientific practice. St. Jude's, I'll call it. If no one else shall answer prayers in the Orient, then let it reach the one who will search this far for prayers. And this St. Jude, who is he? I thought he was the one who betrayed your Jesus. No, the other Jude. But he is known to aid desperate causes, and this school against all odds stands all the same. I'm going to forbid our citizens from attending once again. That just seems like the sensible move, to be honest. Alright, so I do want to increase bureaucracy by a bit. It's not a good time to be spending money on increasing the size of the government because, of course, there is a war on. But, I think it just makes sense. I'm going to throw a huge block of government admin right in the capital. And for the rest, I'll worry about it from the perspective of like how much taxation capacity we need. So I think Henan, there's Henan. Henan is here. It needs a lot of taxation capacity. Ooh, Southern Anhui needs a barrel full. So we'll build there as well. Obviously this is going to take forever. But it's not going to take quite as long as one might think. Alright, we'll throw those at the top of the queue, and we'll unpause government construction. Because we got to get education growing, right? That's the goal. And we're going to have to eat the financial losses, because that just is what it is, friends. Ooh, winning the battle there. Force comparison here is still solid, but they're winning some battles now. Force comparison here, we are continuing to win. Chitral is in default. Gonna maybe throw some conscripts in the 5th Coastal Force. Just get a few more units in here. We've gotten some early victories, but I believe the enemy still has war support protection, but I do as well. So this is going to be a long, grindy war. Chitral is in default. Couldn't couldn't possibly matter. Oh my goodness. One of our subjects has invaded South Tyrol. I will send a small force to assist them. Please keep pressing forward, sir. Oh, they're on their way. Alright, well, fair enough. Because if Austria is forced to bail out of the war, that would be really, really nice. Oh, I need this fleet in here supporting the naval invasion. Alright, that's our bureaucracy situation handled. Let's start getting education increasing. Making good progress in these government admins. Again, I think from my education situation, yeah, I have reduced bureaucracy cost of education, so I should be able to get all the way up here. But the game is having a hard time figuring out that I've got that capability, which is a shame. Baltic Governorates. This is default. Oh my, and there's a massive reactionary revolt happening in Bengal. Well, that is what it is. We are continuing to press forward in Persia. That's good. This force comparison is still looking alright. There are more armies on the way. I am invading Greece. It's going a little bit slowly, but it is what it is. Russia's war support is starting to really decrease now. And I'm sinking enemy convoys, which is nice. Getting good progress on this naval invasion. And we are moving forward in Austria, unbelievably. Because of Austria, does Austria have... Austria should not have war support protection on this thing. Where are they? They're not. And the fact they're partially occupied is making them suffer quite a bit of loss of war support. So if I can continue to press in here, I can have a really healthy position. Force comparison over here seems to have gotten a little worse, but the one in Persia is doing much better. And force comparison on the Austrian front is improving. Now that the 7th Coastal Force is here, we'll mobilize some conscripts. So that'll expand that front. And I'm very nearly at my point of turning off government construction once again and allowing the private investment pool to invest as they like. And that lets me get all the way up to the top. Beautiful. See, I think once Austria bails out of this war, which I think they shall, I'll be in a really good spot. First Coastal Force, I will also throw some conscripts in. And then just one block of shrapnel artillery, because they've already got others. Now, front is this, the Hormuz Fars front. Okay, weird, small front. Very weird. We'll throw a small force in there. I'm really diluting the forces in China right now. And that's making me potentially vulnerable to naval invasion. But I think it'll be okay. Moving ahead in Greece, that is good. Greece should be... if we can get a hold of Sterea Alada, we should be able to get full occupation. We should be able to knock Greece out of the war within very good time. Oh my goodness, we've got a multiple front situation. Oh, I hate that. Alright, so they're moving their army over there. But I'm making good progress at taking at Thessalia. Thessaly. Thessaly in English. Very good, 86%. Just micromanaging this a little bit here. Beautiful. Now, I should come back here to fight the actual Greek army. Ah, but they're putting a bunch of forces over here. Which is not ideal for the Greek front, but good for what we want, because as long as they're focusing here, they're not focusing in Persia or on the main front, which we are continuing to press forward in. So, how is this affecting Greece's war support? Greece is basically ready to leave the war. Austria, we are continuing to have like a rock-solid force comparison in. And our armies are... Alright, beautiful. So Greece has bailed out of the war. That's wonderful. We'll grab the first coastal force and we'll put them in Austria. That will increase the pressure over there. I think I will set Austria's capital, Austria, as our strategic objective against them, because I am hoping to knock them straight out of the war. And they are suffering significant loss in war support right now. So I'm feeling very, very confident, actually, in my ability to push Austria out of the war. Then once Austria is out of the war, this is going to be a lot easier. This whole situation over here. We still have multiple fronts in Persia. I do not know why. We have multiple fronts stacked on top of each other. Paradox, explain! Explain! Dynam. You goofballs. You absolute fools. Oh my gosh, I had a Dirwali uprising. This is not great. I'm going to send one of my other coastal forces to assist with that. And then one of my coastal forces, it appears, has left the northern front, so I'll send them there. Or maybe has left... Oh! Has left the front in Austria, because Austria has bailed out of the war. Right? Yes. Excellent. There's the Dirwali uprising popping off. Hoping I don't end up totally beefing that. Send an army up to... Oh, Christ. What is happening here? Alright, well, I'm really hoping that this front doesn't bug out, because our force comparison seems both excellent and terrible. Both of these appear to be the same front. And then I'm sending a small force off to deal with... Hey, there's education investment. Wonderful. Obviously, this is costing the government a great deal of money. We're nearly in command of all of Kamchatka, though. And if I can get into command of all of Kamchatka, I believe that will cause Russia to lose their war support protection. No, I still need Chukotka. Where's Chukotka? Over there. Alright. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We've had a front splittage. We've had a front splittage, and everything is terrible. Armies are going everywhere. I'm going to put 7th Coastal Force on this other front. Armies are falling over and going everywhere. Cash flows are really, really bad. But if I can put an army on this front and they can't, I'll be in a much better position. But they seem to be error-handling armies over here, which I... Oh, no, wait, they're fleeing the field. They're fleeing the field. They're fleeing the field, and I've got armies on the way. Excellent. Haha. Austria is improving relations. Excellent. Yeah, you never wanted to be in a war with me, Austria. I know. I know. The Russians forced you. It's just reasonable. I get it. I know how it is. Beautiful. Alright, so there's central planning. That gives us an immediate bump in taxation capacity. And now we're moving on directly to telephone. Oh, yes! Oh, this is gonna be real good. Okay, so we have some real madness in the fronts. This army should continue to press forward in Persia, right? And this army's on their way up to this front. And then we'll send one more army. This is really risky now. So Muhammar, or whatever this army's almost at the front they're supposed to be at, and that's making that completely positive. Beautiful. This army is almost at this front, which means that moving forward and grabbing Kolyma and Chukotka should be imminent. I think I'm going to take us through to the end of the war. Ooh. So this will be a little bit of a long episode, but oh boy, now this front has become two fronts. Wild. Buck wild, in fact. 3rd Field Army, you're needed at the main front. I don't know why you decided to go over there. Alright. Beautiful. So now 7th Coastal Force can go over to this front, which they're already going to. But more importantly, now Russia is low on war support. And they no longer have war support protection, so their war support is only going down. So, let's take a look at what they would be willing to accept. They're close to accepting everything. I should only need one more week. Jirwali succession is dealt with, which is also good. We'll go one more week just to be sure. Just to make sure they know we mean business. Alright. So this is 7 war goals. We're at currently 136 recognition points, or whatever they're called. So let's hit the button. Beautiful. The Qing-Scandinavian Treaty of Commerce and Navigation, signed earlier this afternoon in Stockholm, this landmark treaty officially abrogates any previous unequal treaties between Scandinavia and Great Qing in favor of a new one negotiated between peers. The Emperor of Great Qing and the Emperor of Scandinavia being equally desirous of maintaining the relations of good understanding which happily exist between them, by extending and increasing the intercourse between their respective states, and being convinced that this object cannot better be accomplished than by revising the treaties hitherto existing between the two countries, have resolved to complete such a revision, based upon principles of equity and mutual benefit. A new dawn for Great Qing. Ratify the treaty. Great Qing becomes recognized. Beautiful. Siam left. Excuse me? Okay. They didn't actually leave it, they just got their tags reset. They got their tags reset because now they're puppets instead of things. Alright. Great Qing has become recognized, which means a few things happen. Number 1, we become the #1 great power in the world. Number 2, our power block is no longer a quote-unquote weak power block, which means we'll be able to go up to 100 cohesion. Number 3, all of our vassals are now puppets. Oh boy. To actually deal with this situation in Tibet. Number 3, there's a thing going on in Afghanistan that now becomes my business. Number 4, fragile unity is sorted out. Wasn't there something else? No, I don't think there was. So fragile unity is one step closer to being completed. We have our recognition, so we have a proper power block. We are properly recognized as the greatest power in the world. Cash flows are doing a lot better. And we're getting up there in education. Cash flows are a ton better. Golly. In fact, let's resume government construction and see what that does to our cash flow. Cash flow is a lot better. I wonder if there's... Oh, no. You know what this is? This is Russian war reparations. Well, it's only a little bit Russian war reparations. That's quite curious. But yes, what's important, though, is that China has officially claimed her position as the leading great power in the world, which was once, and as I said, would be again, and now is. Which means these next episodes are going to be real interesting. However, that is all we've got time for tonight, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.